Hello and welcome to the London Legal Podcast, presented by Hodge, Jones and Allen Solicitors. Our leading solicitors share their views on latest legal issues and developments, and how the law might affect you, because we care about righting wrongs and providing first-class personal legal services. So please enjoy this, the London Legal Podcast, presented by Hodge, Jones and Allen Solicitors.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the London Legal Podcast. My name is Leticia Williams and I'm head of the personal injury team here at Hodge, Jones and Allen. The London Legal Podcast looks at a wide range of legal issues that many Londoners will face at some point in their lives. Today, myself and my colleague Karen Mann will be discussing changes to the Whiplash rules and how they will affect everyone who suffers a whiplash injury. Karen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. My name is Karen Mann, and I'm a senior associate in the personal injury team at Hodge, Jones and Allen since 2013. I qualified as a solicitor in March 2011 and specialise in personal injury work. I represent a lot of clients involved in road traffic accidents, so I'm aware of the devastating impact whiplash injuries can have on people's lives.
Thanks, Karen. Now, road traffic accidents are continuing to happen despite lockdown and when we were in the tier system. And you'll all be aware the government are advising people to drive, walk or cycle rather than use public transport. So it is very much a hot topic at the moment.
So, Leticia, what are the changes?
Well, from May 2021, anyone injured in a road traffic accident will not be able to instruct a solicitor if their claim is worth £5,000 or less. It means that time is quickly running out to make a compensation claim for whiplash injuries with an expert solicitor by your side. Karen, maybe you could start by explaining what a whiplash injury is.
If you have ever been involved in a road traffic accident and suffered a whiplash injury as a result, you will know it is a genuine injury which can cause severe pain and potentially have a long-term effect on your health. Whiplash is an injury of soft tissue in the neck, back or shoulder. That is, a sprain, strain, tear, rupture, or lesser damage of a muscle, tendon, or ligament in these areas. I see numerous clients with such injuries, which can really affect their day-to-day living. So, Leticia, what's in store from May 2021?
Well, the aim of the whiplash reforms is to make it harder for people to claim compensation for exaggerated or fraudulent whiplash claims. And I think it's right that we try to deter a minority of cases where injuries are exaggerated. But as you know, Karen, the majority of cases we see are genuine. And sadly, the negative media is creating an unfair stigma around seeking damages in such cases. Now, the government plan to introduce changes to the personal injury claims process, and there are two main changes which will affect the amount of compensation claimants receive. Firstly, there's going to be a reduction of compensation for whiplash injury by setting a fixed amount payable for injuries lasting less than 2 years. So, for example, at the moment, you can receive up to £1,800 for a whiplash injury lasting 0 to 3 months. However, based on the proposed tariffs, this will decrease to only £275. Another example is a 6 to 9 month injury is currently £2,700. This will go down to only £800. So the reduction is significant, but the injury remains exactly the same. Now, just a side note to this, the tariff will not apply to vulnerable road users such as pedestrians, motorcyclists and cyclists. So we really are just talking here about drivers and passengers. Secondly, the small claims limit is increasing from £1,000 to £5,000 for road traffic accidents. So insurers will not meet legal costs for personal injury claims with a value of less than £5,000. So, for example, in the example above at the moment, as a small claim is £1,000, if your injury is worth anything more than that, you can instruct a solicitor such as Hodge, Jones and Allen to act on your behalf. But once these changes come into place, many claimants will have to handle their claims without legal support, which could prevent injured people from seeking the compensation they deserve.
So what does this mean really for injured people?
Well, from May 2021, if you are injured in a road traffic accident, you'll have to start and navigate your way through the claims process without a solicitor on your own. Whiplash claims will no longer be accepted without medical evidence, so it's likely you as an individual will have to submit the claim using an online portal, instruct your own medical expert to diagnose your injuries, pay £180 for a medical report if the other side deny liability, and accept, reject or possibly appeal the compensation offer the other side put forward. And again, you'll be doing this all on your own without help from a professional.
This would be a daunting process for anyone. It sounds like these changes are going to prevent access to justice, as people who are genuinely injured may feel the process is too complicated or overwhelming, resulting in them being discouraged from either starting or continuing with their claim. A claimant may also not have access to the internet, for example, or the finances to pay the £180 medical report fee up front, again deterring them from bringing a genuine claim.
That's correct, Karen, which is why claimant lawyers have been opposing these changes since 2015. Unfortunately, our government are convinced this is the right way forward, despite the huge impact this is going to have on injured people.
So what should someone do if they have been involved in a road traffic accident and have suffered a whiplash injury before May of this year?
Well, we're basically advising people who have suffered any type of whiplash injury to contact us immediately to avoid getting caught up in the new whiplash reforms. This will ensure claims can be submitted by ourselves or certainly experienced solicitors before the reforms are implemented in May 2021.
Well, that concludes this episode of the London Legal Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow Hodge, Jones and Allen on SoundCloud and on social media so that you can keep up to date with the podcast and all aspects of the law. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And of course, if you found the podcast useful, please do share it with your friends.
You've been listening to the London Legal Podcast, presented to you by Hodge, Jones and Allen Solicitors.